Okay, so for topic 5, we're going to look at applications. We already know that that just generally means word problems. Okay, so let's look and see what happens here. So example 5 says solve each problem, include correct units with each answer. Okay, so for part A, it says from sea level, a submarine can descend 37 feet per minute. So descending 37 feet, that's going to be our negative. Okay, now for minute 1, we're going to descend 37 feet. Minute 2, we're going to descend 37 feet. Minute 3, minute 4, minute 5, and again, minute 6, we're going to descend 37 feet. So what we want to do here is multiply. We can take the negative 37 and multiply it by each of those 6 minutes. So negative 37 times 6. And we already know that when we multiply a negative and a positive, we get a negative product. And that should make sense here because at the end of 6 minutes, not only are we going to be below the surface, we're going to be way below the surface. So we should get a negative answer here. So we know our final answer is going to be negative. And then we want to go ahead and do the multiplication off to the side. So 37 times 6. Well, 6 times 7 is 42. I keep a 2, I carry a 4. 6 times 3 is 18. And then 18 plus 4 is 22. So we're at negative 222 feet. Now, you could say the submarine is at a depth of negative 222 feet as your description, and that would be fine. You could also word this in such a way where you keep your number positive. The negative, that negative in negative 222 is part of a description. So I could say something like, the submarine will descend a total of 222 feet. So in this case, even though we know our answer is negative, I use the word descend here, which takes care of that negative. So we could write it like this, or we could say the submarine is at a depth of negative 222 feet. I would accept either answer. Just be careful when you write out these answers and make sure you don't, make sure if you describe the negative, you don't put it on the number, okay? Finally, we have for part B, 6 friends lost a total of $300 at the casino. So that loss of $300, that's our negative. The 6 friends are going to be positive. How much did each friend lose if they all lost the same amount of money? Well, in this case, we want to do division. We've got this grand total, this huge loss combined between these 6 friends. We want to figure out if they all lost the same amount of money, how much did they lose? So we would say, okay, we've got a loss of $300. So we would write that as negative 300. And then we want to divide it by positive 6. So when we divide a positive and a negative, we know we get a final answer that's negative. And that should make sense. If each friend lost some money, the answer here is going to be negative. So we take 300 and we divide it by 6. Many of you could do this one in your head. If not, just go ahead and follow the steps for long division. I know 6 won't go into 3, but it will go into 30. So 6 will go into 30 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. So I subtract 30, I get a 0. And remember, once you subtract and bring a digit down, you have to put something in the quotient. So 6 won't go into 0, but we can't just skip this. We have to say 6 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 6 is 0, and we get our 0 remainder. So we would say each friend lost $50. Okay, so that's our final answer. But again, depending on how you write the wording or like how you describe this answer, you do need to be careful. So I could say each friend lost $50. I'm not saying that the answer is positive because the word lost takes care of this negative right here. Okay, so just be careful with how you describe these answers. So each friend lost $50. And that wraps it up for multiplying and dividing integers. I think the last section for us is going to be probably order of operations. All right.